that down, let's move on to this, shall we? You know, the other day, while Superman today is the official opening day, the reality is tens and tens and tens of thousands of movie fans have already had a chance to see Superman. And we talked about how high the score had been. Remember, the verified score on Rotten Tomatoes. That means scores that audiences who they verify had actually seen the movie gave it. And it was high. But I didn't realize how high it was until I saw this article in Forbes. When it ran the headline, Superman just set a Rotten Tomatoes audience score record. And I went in. And at 96%, that's where it sits right now. 96%. With well over 1,000 verified user reviews. At 96%, it is the highest audience rating for any DC film ever in history.
Wow. That's including Nolan's Batman movies.
That includes Nolan Batman movies. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at this list. There's two different brackets here, and then there's some films on the bottom with asterisks. We'll get to that in a second. But officially, Superman right now stands as the highest audience-rated film ever in history at 96%. Second is Black Adam, a movie which I like, by the way.
You know what? I got to tell you, I like it too.
I didn't love it.
No.
But I liked it.
I liked it.
I had enough fun with it. All right. Then we had Wonder Woman, which I did think was great.
It's great.
At 83%. Blue Beetle, that nobody went to go see, but was quite a charming little movie. Also at 83%.
What about Aquaman? That should be up there.
Yeah, but it is not.
Damn.
Shazam at 82%. The Flash at 78%. Again, another movie that absolutely nobody went to go see.
Yeah, but I loved it. I'm going to be defending that movie for the rest of my life.
I'm going to defend that movie forever, too. I did not think it was one of the greatest comic book films of all time, as some people propose, but I thought it was really good.
The Flash and Aquaman is one heck of a fun afternoon.
By the way, Aquaman, 72%. Now, the reason we have asterisks beside these other ones is because these ones here are not verified scores. So the HBO version of Justice League, that was on television.
Yeah.
So, and there's no verification. So you can have all these people going in to put 0 out of 10s who never saw it. You can have all these people, as there was a bit of a ramped up campaign to get people to go in to put 10 out of 10. So it's not a verified score. Then you got the Nolan ones, Dark Knight at 94, Batman Begins at 94, The Dark Knight Rises at 90. Again, this was before Rotten Tomatoes had their verification system in. But still, look at, I wanted to put it on the list because 94, 94, 90. But even if we took these asterisk movies into account, Superman right now still stands as the #1 audience-rated film ever in the history of DC. Also, Superman would be on this list somewhere as well, the original Christopher Reeve, but that would also be one of the asterisk movies because obviously, well, that was before Rotten Tomatoes even existed. But even if we considered these, Superman, the new one, in theaters today, the highest audience-rated film ever in the history of DC. Now, the question becomes, can it hold that? Because while tens and tens and tens of thousands of fans have seen it, and they have thousands of now registered user reviews, verified registered user reviews for the Rotten Tomatoes score, we're about to get a lot more people go to see the film. And while Rotten Tomatoes will make sure only people who can verify they've seen the movie will actually be able to register a vote, Rob, I want everybody to wrap their heads around this. 96, this is what it means. For Superman to hold that 96 number, that means for every 100 people that go to see it, it can only have 4 out of those 100 that don't like it. Just 4 out of every 100 people that sees it to not like it. The moment they get 5 out of every 100, that 96% takes a hit.
Well, you know, those review bombers are sharpening their knives. They're getting ready.
Well, That's why review bombers are so mad at Rotten Tomatoes, because they don't get to go in and review bomb.
They have to at least buy the
Because
ticket.
you have to at least buy a ticket
Yeah.
for
Yep.
Fandango to be
It's
able
like
to.
you can screw it over with reviews, but, you're gonna make the box
even
office.
take that out. Forget review bombers. Forget the bad actors. That is a tall order to say out of every 100, only 4 can walk out and say, I didn't like it. So I'm going to go out and say this. While I do believe the 96% is very representative, again, we have thousands and thousands and thousands, tens and tens of thousands of people see it. They're drawing from a pretty big well. I just don't see it holding 96. That number is just too astronomically high.
Yeah.
Now, granted, none of these other movies had a 96 in its just initial release either.
Right.
But that is just too high of a number to hold. Now, can it stay above 90? I think it can. I think it can stay 90, 91, because I think this is a very crowd-pleasing movie. I think a lot of the audience is going to love it. But I honestly, and again, this is not me being negative. I know I'm going to get the tweets are, you're so negative. I'm not being negative. I love this movie. I'm cheering for this movie, but I just don't see it holding 96. That is just too high of a number. Even The Dark Knight, without verification, can't even hold a 96. So I do see that number coming down. Anyway, Rob, this is when I put this chart together and I was looking at the numbers, I was really shocked to see it. It actually is right now the highest audience rated DC film ever made, including Dark Knight, Batman Begins, and all that kind of stuff. But what do you think about where it's ranking right now? How much of a crowd pleaser do you think it will or won't be? And do you think it has a shot of holding on to that 96 rating?
Well, I think, first of all, remember, the people that went to the Amazon screening were predisposed to loving the movie. They were excited. They went to see it. So I think that what you're getting is the elation. The 96% is the people that were like, had a great time. They're expecting to have a good time. They had a good time.
But I would suggest too, they're also the people that were most set up to be disappointed.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
Because we can always say the same thing too about opening weekend. The people that go opening weekend are the ones that are most excited, but we see lots of audiences go to opening weekend and come out not liking it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'll be curious, I think, when it goes more to the general audience. But then again, the general audience, I think, is more apt to be entertained. You know, they're more apt to be less critical.
That's
the way.
true too, yeah.
So I think that it'll still look. I mean, you can get into analyzing you can analyze the superheroics of it all, the Superman of it all, the DC of it all, but the movie was just a damn entertaining 2 hours in the cinema. I mean, at the end of the day,
man.
I can sit here and psychoanalyze this movie, or not, that's the wrong word, but just analyze the movie to death. The fact is, I sat there for 2 hours with a big grin on my face. I laughed constantly. It left me the final moments in the movie. Just I couldn't stop chuckling.
Oh, God,
and
it
the
was
whole
so fun.
the whole movie just it was wildly entertaining. And more than that, you know what? I was very just interested in where is this movie going to go. Like it was constantly taking me places I didn't expect. Like, oh, you know, we're here. Like this is interesting. I didn't expect this. And oh, isn't this interesting? And why? I mean, I was constantly engaged at what was going on. You know, and and it was, the movie's just zippy. You know, I'm just zipping around, having a good time. And I felt like I was elated watching the movie. Like I just couldn't, I just had fun. I just sat there and was like, wow, I'm constantly entertained by this movie. And I wasn't thinking about it. The movie was whipping by me. Like when it was over, John, I was sitting next to you. I'm like, that was 90 minutes. Oh my God, it was 2 hours. And I think that if nothing else, and I'm really curious when I see it today, if I feel the same way. I'm taking Elizabeth. I have no idea what she's going to think about this movie. Like she's not particularly a superhero person. She's a little bored of it all. So I'm really going to be, I know people, it's an early audience. We're both seeing it with normies, I guess.
Yeah, today.
But
yeah.
you know, people didn't buy
normies.
early. It's people that bought a ticket. They're going. They're excited to go see it.
Jonathan's seen it today too. For the
Yeah.
John, okay, you're seeing it today.
5
I mean,
o'clock,
we're
I'll
all
be there.
going. I'm going to my favorite local cinema, the Harkins Mountain Grove 16.
Oh, nice.
Looking forward to seeing it on that Cineac screen. And I really am. It's going to be really fun to sit in an audience with people who are going to respond to what's in the movie, because there's a lot of audience stuff that.
Well, I mean, the audience we saw it with, there was a lot of response.
Lot of response.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious. I'm really excited to go see it again. I'm just because I know it's gonna put a smile on my face again.
But again, for every 100 people that are going to go see it from here on out, can it realistically hold it to just
no way.
4 out of every 100 that doesn't like
But
it?
96 is a great starting point for it then to settle.
Yeah.
You're not starting at 89
yeah.
and settling to like 81, 79.
Yeah, you're not starting at 79 and settling down at 71.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. I think it'll still. By the end of the day, it will still be the #1 verified audience thing out of, like, again, bringing up the list, seeing that Black Adam is at #2 at 85. I think it'll still be above 85. Like, I can see less than 15 people per 100 not liking it.
Right.
Yeah.
Can it hold 94? I don't know.
But yeah. Again, 4 out of 100 is just too much. And again, I know I'm going to get comments, John, you're always being so negative. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to be realistic here. It's too high.
I still can't believe Aquaman's 72%. What's up with that?
Yes, and I
The movie
think
made $1 billion.
you know what his critic rating is? 66. I mean, it's
First
only
Aquaman was
6%
good.
off of the 72 from the audience, but I mean, it's.
You know what I loved about
I still
that?
remember when we went to Universal City.
We did.
City Walk to go see that.
Yeah,
I remember we came out of it and we were like, "Holy crap!" that
Yeah,
was fun.
I mean, dude, there's guys on armored seahorses and sharks fighting each other. Win for me. That's a win, baby.
And it stood on its own. I mean, you really didn't need to know the rest of the DCEU.
No.
But here's the thing I'm wondering, and we kind of alluded to this and brought this up the other day. I am wondering about this, honestly, because we were talking about seeing it again, and Jonathan said to me something along the lines of, I bet you're going to like it even more the second time. And I'm like, yeah, I probably will. But then I thought about it, because I do not think Superman is a perfect movie. There are things and elements about it that I think could have been better.
Yeah.
And I remember I said to you guys, I said, I am now wondering, now that I've seen the movie and I love it and all that kind of stuff, and I was just kind of washed into the whole experience of the movie and having so much fun, I do wonder if on my second viewing, the little parts that I thought could have been improved upon, I wonder if those might bug me more the second time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to take it to the point that I don't like. I just like this movie too much. That's not going to happen. But I wonder if my second viewing, the parts that I didn't like might irritate me a little bit more.
The short shrifting of Wendell Pierce.
Yeah.
That was something that really bothered me.
But I mean, nothing. That was a lack of something. There was nothing Perry White does in the movie that I didn't like.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, like something like. Well, again, I don't want to go into. I'm not going to go into any details, but like something like, well, that element, even while watching the movie, I knew I didn't like that, and I wonder. But then the next great thing happens, and I'm just moved on. But I wonder if it might bother me a little bit, because sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens where I'll watch a movie and I'll love it, and then I'll watch it again, and I'll still love it, but it's like the little things that I didn't like started to bug me a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or there may be something contextually, I don't know why I said it like that, contextually that add some credence to some of the things you might have been irritated at. I think,
you know what? That's true. Maybe the second time I watch it, the little things that bug me, I go, oh, actually, this feels better this time.
Maybe.
Because I got a bigger context.
So
I don't know.
my take on that was more like, because what Rob was saying was that you really have to be prepared for this world of Superman, which we have never kind of seen before. And it takes time to like be in it and not be out of it, saying, I've never seen a world like this. So if you watch it on the second time, you've already been kind of baptized in that world, right? And maybe that kind of washes away and you accept it more, you know?
Yeah, that's true. First of all, Lobo, I'm going to say something. Lobo is not in this movie. There's no Lobo cameo.
Reverse spoiler.
All I can say is after this movie's over, and I've been thinking about this, there's got to be a scene, and people will know why I'm saying this now. There has got to be a scene. I want to call it the Lobo visits a bar scene. I don't know. There's got to be some scene in Supergirl where that we're going to see it in a year where Lobo goes to a bar and gets and parties. And the fact
that we just saw Jason Momoa in a mosh pit.
I know, but
So why not?
And there's more to it than that people understand contextually what I'm saying. I just it's something this movie left me with that has not stopped putting a smile on my face since then. The Lobo, I'm just calling it the Lobo party scene. There's going to be I mean, the Tom King run of Supergirl that they're basing this
it's
movie on,
is amazing.
it's amazing, but it's hardcore. Like it's not
It's not a family-friendly Supergirl.
No, and that's one of the reasons.
Not in the least.
There's going to be a scene with Lobo partying, and people will understand why I think about that, and why I think that. I can't wait. I can't wait for the next DC Universe movies after this.
Yeah,
one.
I am now very, very excited for Supergirl.
I can't
and
wait.
You know what? Again, right there, Rob. That was the assignment for Superman.
Yes.
The assignment for Superman was not to make $800 million. The assignment for Superman was to have people like you and me sitting here going, I can't wait to see the next
I
DC
can't wait.
movie.
I can't.
Because when's the last time the audience has felt that way? Been a while.
Yeah, and people forget it was Brenda Vaccaro and Faye Dunaway in the last Supergirl movie, and Peter O'Toole. And
That's right. The great Peter O'Toole was in there.
Peter O'Toole. I mean, I liked Helen Slater as Supergirl. I did, but that movie is a rough watch these days.
Oh yeah,
it's
rough.
It's rough.
Doesn't hold up well. So look, to summarize and to answer the question, 96% marks it being the highest that any DC film's ever held. But will it hold? I just don't think so. I think it will still be, again, let's bring up the list. I still think it will be the top of that top list. Of all verified scores, I think it will be. But I don't think it'll keep up to the Dark Knight or Batman Begin numbers. I still think it can be in the 90s. I still think it's going to be overwhelmingly positive. But and you know me, I'm not trying to be negative. I just don't see it holding 96. I just don't see how that's possible. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Forbes is right. At the moment, Superman is the highest audience rated film in the history of any DC film ever. But
by the way,
it hold that?
Did you read the Forbes review of the movie?
I did not.
They were not fans, or he was not a fan.
Well, I know there are two guys at Forbes.
Yeah.
I know the one guy loved it. I know, but the other one is not so.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you think about this? Do you think it can hold that 96? I just don't think it's realistic. But whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.